Hello and welcome to Felix's 6-month update. We're finally doing it. I didn't think that we were going to get to it. I thought we might have to do a 7-month one, but nope, we made it to 6 months. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Do hit that subscribe button if you like the video to see more updates and more of my day in the life type videos as well. So this little guy is 6 months old. I can hardly believe it, well 6.5 months now. In some ways it feels like it's just gone so quickly, and in other ways it feels like it's been such a long time, just because of everything that's happened. But finally I can say that Felix is doing really well, aren't you, little guy? So about 7-8 weeks ago we started having real problems with his feeding. He's never been a great feeder, to be honest. In my opinion, I think it's because of the tube feeding. There's no actual evidence to support that, but it just seems to be quite a common problem with babies that have been tube fed for a while, and babies that have been on ventilators. So it was getting really bad. It was getting to a point where he was having kind of 60 ml per feed, and that was all I could get into him. And that's the amount that he came home from hospital on when he was 5 pounds. So we knew that that wasn't right. And he was just miserable all the time. He was crying. He would only sleep for kind of 30 minutes at a time, day and night. So I was exhausted. He was exhausted. We got him checked out, and the GP at that point was really quite concerned about him, was concerned about his weight, and just that he, really was only just sustaining himself. So at that point they kind of changed his milk, which was a test I didn't, to a kind of one without cow's milk in, which didn't make a difference. He wouldn't even take it. I didn't think that it was that. The GP didn't think it was that either. But there was some discussion about whether it was maybe a problem with his heart, and that we would kind of need further investigation. So that really, really worried me. And just the thought of him being back in hospital scared me. They said that if he was to get another bout of bronchiolitis, which with him is always quite likely, then whilst he was feeding like that, then he'd be straight in hospital with a feeding tube down again. So at that point I decided to take on my own research and hired a company to come in and basically look at his feeding. So a lady came in here for the day, came to our home, took him off me, kind of had a look at him, watched him feeding, watched his sleep pattern. And what she basically thought had happened is that he had got he basically was absolutely exhausted. So he wasn't feeding enough, which meant that he couldn't sleep for long periods of time because he was so hungry. But then because he wasn't sleeping for a lot of time, he was then too exhausted to complete his feeds. So it was a vicious cycle. But she didn't feel that medically anything was wrong. She just felt that he hadn't gained strength. So she worked with me and was basically my fairy godmother. She sorted him out. We put him onto a new feeding plan, and within 12 hours he had 2 good chunks of sleep and 2 good bottles. And that's what it's been like ever since. Both herself and the GP suggested that we wean him as quickly as possible. So we're weaning, aren't we, Felix? And he's doing amazing. So he's now on 3 full meals a day. I'm doing a mix of baby-led weaning and spoon feeding. So I've been making my own purees for him, but also just trying to do a lot of the baby-led weaning. Firstly, because I think it's easy, and secondly, because Marley's quite a fussy eater, and I kind of spoon-fed him all the way. So I think that baby-led kind of has a bit more variety and allows them to try a few new things. If you haven't tried it before, at the beginning it's really scary because they kind of gag on everything, and obviously they're not having smooth purees, you're giving them bits and pieces to eat. But now every time it gets to the mealtime, he's just so excited and happy, and he takes all his bottles, although we're now starting to wean him down off those just because he's eating so much food. He now goes to bed at 7 o'clock at night, goes down into his cot absolutely fine, and he doesn't wake up at 10. I dream feed him at 10 just to be safe, and then he'll go through to around 6 or 7 in the morning. So he's doing absolutely amazingly. he is teething, as you can see here. So he's got 2 teeth at the moment, and lots more coming by the looks of it. He's not a great teether. He does really struggle with it. Marley never really was that fussed if he was teething, whereas Felix gets very upset, and he's obviously in a lot of pain. So we're trying all kinds of different things for that. But on the whole, he's absolutely fine. The last weigh-in he was 15 pounds. He had actually dropped down from the 9th centile to the 5th centile, which was a real shame because I thought he would have jumped up because he has put on weight. But I think that period where his feeding was so bad, he just dropped so much that he's playing catch-up now. But I think you look quite healthy. Yeah, do you want to say to everyone, I'm a little chubby one now? He's starting to get rolls and things like that on him, aren't you? What else? He does all of his naps, so that's good. He's just started playing with Marley, so he sits in a little kind of rubber ring type thing, and he loves that. And Marley passes him toys. Marley actually said to him the other day, completely unprompted, "You're my best friend, I love you." Is Marley your best friend? They just adore each other, and Marley's just amazing with him. Kind of so kind and so considerate, and always asking me if he's all right. So it's just really lovely watching their kind of bond grow more and more as time goes on. Felix is quite mobile now, so he rolls around all over the place, interested in everything, at the hair pulling stage as well. Interested in everything, almost sitting. I know what he's just found. He's found my earrings. He's going to go for that. So he's almost sitting up, and I really, really want him to be sitting up unaided in the next couple of weeks. That would be nice. I just think that will help with the playing and things like that. But he's just into everything. We haven't found with Felix what his interests are. So with Marley, we kind of knew by this point what he was interested in and what type of things that he liked. And we haven't found that with Felix yet. So I think that's just because it took, he spent the first 5 months of his life really just miserable and struggling. So we're playing catch up. I'm also feeling so much better. I am still having support for my postnatal depression. I haven't been signed off yet. But I think we're getting there. The last couple of weeks, I almost feel like I've come back to life a little bit. I'm finding everything so emotional. So I cry at the drop of a hat. Out of kind of memories of things that happened with Felix about the whole last 6 months. I'll cry when I look at him. I'll cry when I look at Marley. Just so many different things, even down to the fact that our baby monitor, when it runs low on battery, has a beep that's exactly like his monitors when he was in neonatal. And it's just been making me so emotional. But what's so good about that is that I think I was almost numb to it for the first 5 months. So I was blocking everything out. I was feeling really low. I was anxious. I was panicked by everything. I couldn't focus if people were just trying to talk to me, or if we needed to go out and about, if we were visiting family and friends. I just wasn't there. And I think now that I'm starting to feel better, all the emotions are hitting me because I'm actually starting to feel again. The bond with this one has just improved so much. I'm really starting to enjoy him. I'm not scared all the time now. I'm just looking at him and enjoying him and enjoying cuddles. I know what's coming next with him. Marley's doing amazing. We've just potty trained him, and he's kind of fully potty trained within a week and seems to be dry at night as well at the moment. So I don't know, it's just everything's coming together. I feel like I've come alive again, even if that does make me a bit more emotional. I think it's good to just feel all those things. I think the last piece of the puzzle for us, or maybe not piece of the puzzle, but the last bit of healing for me will be to go back to neonatal and see where he started, but with a healthy baby with me. See, even that makes me emotional. I'm not going to cry. And there's a few things that we want to take into them to say thank you, and we want to try and collect some prem clothes for them and blankets. So I think once we've done that and we go in, I just want to put it to bed and move on, and until the next one, which is the question everyone keeps asking me. And the answer, I do not know. I can't think much further than where we are at the moment. But all in all, you're doing amazing, aren't you? Can you wave at the camera? You've learnt to wave, haven't you? Have you learnt to wave? Can you wave? Wave! Wave at your Sophie. But anyway, he's a gorgeous, happy little boy. Marley's a gorgeous little happy little boy. I, at the moment, just can't believe how lucky I am to have both of them. And Felix is here and he's well, and spring is coming. There are just so many nice things to look forward to. So I think that's all for Felix's 6-month update. I can't think of anything else that I've missed, although I probably will turn the camera off and will have missed something. But thank you so much for watching again. My next goal is to try and do an update with Marley, so maybe a 2.5-year update and kind of about his potty training and how we did that. And it would be really nice to have him on camera too, but you will see the craziness that is Marley if I do manage to get that one filmed. So I hope you all have a lovely Easter weekend and bank holiday. Enjoy the sun that's coming, and I will see you very soon. Thanks very much. Bye. Say bye. Bye.